What's going on YouTube? This is your boy Dermy Wormy. I'm coming at you with a brand new video. Today we are doing the review for G Gundam Episode 3. Yes, I'm trying to make this a every Saturday thing, so keep an eye on the channel, notifications, yada yada yada. Oh, excuse me. I'm having a morning. If you didn't see it yesterday, I had that one chip challenge and I'm still recovering. That thing hurt. It hurt a lot. Anyways, enough about me. On to the show. This episode, we are introduced to Dragon Gundam and its pilot Saisaishi. Saisaishi is possibly one of my favorite characters in the entire series. I know I say that about a lot of the characters, but I think Saisaishi's up there at number... Oh, do boo boo, do 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 do. Maybe number 4 as like one of my favorite characters, quite honestly, because he has such a personality to him that you get right away, and I get it. Last episode we introduced to Chippity. Chippity has a personality of his own. It's just I think Saisaishi has a better personality. He's a whole lot more playful. He's very charming. He's childish, and he knows what he wants. He is a very clever character, and he's greatly written, and I just find him to be a fun character. We're also introduced to Dragon Gundam. Dragon Gundam has to be possibly it's not my favorite Gundam in the entire series. My favorite Gundam is still Master Gundam in this entire series. But I would have to say Dragon Gundam. It's up there because it's hard in this series because there's so many good Gundams. I would say Dragon Gundam's probably my top 5 at least, because it is such a unique Gundam and its strategies and its fighting style, what it has to utilize, its design. It is such a unique Gundam. And I do think it's a better looking Gundam visually, which is aesthetic, but neither here nor there. It is a very visually pleasing Gundam to look at. So, enough about that. Let's get into what happened this episode. So, this is going to happen for a while. I don't quite remember when it stops happening. I think it's not until... There's 50 episodes in this entire series, so maybe episode 10 is when they stop doing this opening. I think I'm not quite sure. But it's the narrator. He's going over what happened, governments of Earth left, formed the colonies, set up the Gundam tournament so that people, fight instead of war. Whoever wins basically owns the universe, yada yada yada. This year's it's different, Domon picture. How's this gonna play into this episode? And we get our first image of Dragon Gundam. Perfect time to talk about. See, I think Dragon Gundam is more aesthetically pleasing than Master Gundam. Master Gundam's cool. Master Gundam has some charm to it as well. I just like Dragon Gundam more. Plus, it's just a fun Gundam. And then we also get our first look at today's fighter, who's supposed to be a mystery. And they don't really keep it a mystery if you just for an average viewer to watch. Don't even have to pay. All you have to do is watch the screen and you realize that you know who he is, and who they're trying to keep it as a mystery for isn't who he is. So, well, let's get into it, shall we? Let's get things ready. Gundam fight all set, ready, go. Episode name, which I can't remember off the top of my head. It will be in the description, though, and all that stuff. So we open up with our fighter, who is unnamed as of right now. And he's up in the colonies, and this is prior to like everything else. This is the landing day and all that, when the Gundams all fell to Earth. And he's getting his commands from the, I believe, the leader of the Shaolin Temple, if not the leader of Neo China, and basically go to Earth, win, reestablish China and the Shaolin Temple as the all-around government of the universe. You know, do your job. So he goes, but then the pod splits in two instead of being just one giant pod. So that does become a thing. Dragon Gundam touches down. We then get a shot of this mystery man who has decided to claim Dragon Gundam as his own, and it's the Gundam that he's been wanting this whole time. So now he starts having fun and everything like that, and he leads a bandit group, and he sends his bandits into a random village to begin attacking. And they go around using makeshift flamethrowers and these special little pods that they do while they destroy the village, take what they want, and do whatever they want, you know, like bandits do. And then what's interesting about their units is they can all combine together to form a special dragon style unit and terrorize the place. We then get a shot of two recurring characters who are Shuizin and Keiyun. I believe this is Shuizin and this is Keiyun. I could be getting them mixed up. These are two recurring characters. They do play an important role in the story after a while, and they have personalities of their own. Everybody in the show has a personality, and personalities you can actually enjoy. Even one of the more annoying characters that comes up, I think, in 2 episodes, who was very kind of blunt, straight to the point, and kind of a B word, is actually compelling when you get to learn about her. She comes off as maybe a Brie Larson, but in reality, she is very charming and likable, unlike Brie Larson, or Guy Ladriel, or insert every Mary Sue that ever existed here. But back onto the show. And we don't get introduced to her until for another 2 episodes, so yeah. But they're watching as the destruction is happening and everything, but then they notice that something's happening in this village other than the bandit attack. You see Domon's here in this village, and he is being attacked by some of the bandits and having to fend off their attacks and everything. And you see Rain here with her shooty booty. And they're just fending off the bandits and everything. And then they notice that there is a Gundam. So Domon decides to tell Rain to help get the Shining Gundam all set. And then Shuizin and Keiyun come in to interject and say, please don't. We see that you're a notorious Gundam fighter. We ask for your help, please. And yeah, you know, you get that anime look, nothing happens. Scene kind of ends. The next day happens, and you see something that the show doesn't tell you right away. You've been having to pick up on this if you've been paying attention. Rain is taking care of people. You know, he taking care of wounds, doing stuff like that. It's almost like they're showing us something that they haven't told us yet that doesn't come up for a little while. It's almost like you can figure out what her main job is outside of being a mechanic for the Gundam. Wow. Character development. Show, don't tell. Anyways, she's taking care of the people of the village that were from the village that was attacked the night before, and trying to bandage stuff up. But she realizes that if there isn't the medicine that they have remaining isn't enough to heal all the wounds and take care of everybody. And there's a lot of people that are injured. The village is basically destroyed, and it's bad. But then she looks behind and she sees Domon and Kayun, Shuizhen and Kayun are talking. Basically, Shuizhen and Kayun are petitioning Domon for assistance in taking out their Neo China's Gundam fighter. Basically, trying to think of my words. They go into this whole thing and they talk about it, and they say they were representatives of they are monks from the Shaolin Temple. Getting those words out. And that their fighter is actually the son of the master of the Shaolin Temple. And that as a young... Basically, they go into this whole thing. I'm jumping ahead of myself, and I'm missing a point. Shaolin Temple used to be a very prominent temple within China and the world until a lot of the members of the Shaolin Temple disaffected to the Chicaling Temple, which does become a thing later in the... If I can get this just right. Later in this... Chicaling Temple is another temple. Yeah, we get it. So the Shaolin Temple's lost prominence. So the master of the Shaolin Temple decided to send his son, Saishi, to the Chicaling Temple to get trained, brought back to the Shaolin Temple, and then from there to send his son, which I'm confused on this. It talks more about it later in the series. They decided to send his son, who is a child of the Shaolin Temple, trained by the Chicaling Temple, into the Gundam tournament to win not just for China, but to reestablish the Shaolin Temple as a world temple and bring it back to prominence and stuff. Man, my shirt is fighting me today. And we get a good look at the Dragon Gundam's pilot. Yet again. Man, they really try to keep this stuff a mystery, but they kind of did a crappy job at it, but I can't blame them. So they plead him and everything. They plead to Domon. Domon says, well, what if I say no? They attack Domon, and they're very impressed that Domon was very quick to defend them, because it all happens like that. Just the fight begins. They disappear. They then see Rain, and they take Rain as a hostage and say, if you don't defeat our Gundam and help us out, we will take her. Basically, Domon accepts, gets the core lander, flies off, and yeah. Rain asks them if they could put that away, and this is when you realize that they're more of a deceptive type, and they want to just... They're not actually awful people. They apologize for basically kidnapping Rain. And, you get this little look on her face like, what's going on? You just kidnapped me. Used me as a hostage. They're actually nice people. Surprising. Well, so Domon's driving, trying to get to where the Gundam is. Doesn't really know where he's going, but he's just trying. And he stumbles upon this mysterious person, and the forest passed out. Hops up, drives up, asks, why are you in the road? Person wakes up, asks if Domon can basically take him with him. Domon says no, he's in a hurry. Kid disappears. Domon's confused, and it turns out, if I can get it, right here. Kid appears in the back of Domon's vehicle, and Domon decides, and he says, well, I guess I'll go in with you because I'm in a hurry as well. And Domon doesn't really kick him out, just says, let's go. So they start driving, and they're doing their thing. They're going to where they need to go, and Domon asks him if he's seen the person in the picture, the mysterious person. Oh, I'm still trying to recover from last night's chip. I'm dying still. Oh, that hurt. Kid says no. Domon puts it away. Kid asks, well, who is that on the picture? And Domon says, well, if you don't know who he is, just forget about it. Domon's very protective of that picture. That picture does play a huge role. The picture's not always around, but who's on the picture is very important. And they really try to hammer that in. That picture is important. So they see this village up ahead, and the kid, the mysterious kid who we do not know, decides, hey, why don't we stay there for the night? Domon says, no, can't. Bandits took all my money. The kid says, well, I have an idea. And his idea is, well, first off, they get in there, and there's a festival that starts up. And the kid's idea for how to survive for the night is, if I can get there, cook while Domon cleans dishes. And the kid's like, oh, I'm sorry for that. This is the idea I had. But it's helpful because they have so many people now because of this festival. And I have been training to be a gourmet chef. And, he's cooking. Domon's cleaning. And there's this little moment because the kid's apologizing to Domon for having to do this to him. And Domon's stomach starts growling. Everything ends. Festival ends. They're done for the night. They're beat. They're just hanging out, talking a little bit. And she gives Domon things that are in these bags. And they don't really tell us what's in them, but we're led to assume that it's money. And he basically was given money, and he gives a share to Domon. Domon says, well, you don't do anything for free now, do you? Well, then they start hearing laughter outside. Things start getting all chattery. And the bandits start to attack. And they're going around doing their thing, attacking. Domon and the kid decide to hide, try to not be seen. And the Gundam is there, coming in to help with the attack. A bandit bursts into, if I can get it, into the room, attacks and everything. Domon kicks him out of the room they were in. He lands in a hay bale, which opens up the Corelander. This is very convenient. Can't remember what that word means. I might put it in the flash it right now. I don't remember. Very convenient storytelling. But the bandit hops in the Corelander, drives off with it. Domon says, well, now he has no choice. He really does have to interact with these people. You then get this shot of the Dragon Gundam. If I can get it just right. Basically, you can see it here. The Dragon Gundam's hand and everything. And it's not just a dragon. There's a hand that actually comes out of it. It attacks the room. You see the kid, freaking out. Very, very charming. Very cartoonish, but yet has character to who he is. Attacks the room. And when he comes out, and I can't get that shot, you see Domon's little cape is in there. So you're led to assume for a little bit that they destroyed Domon. Walks away, cape flies off, and then you see Domon and the kid standing on a rooftop. Well, they decide that they have no choice but to go off and fight because he has to get his Corelander back. We get our halfway point. So then Domon and the kid decide to go to where they need to go. They're following where the bandits came from, and it turns out that the bandits have been staying in the Great Wall, and that is their base of operations, is the Great Wall of China. So they're trying to figure out a plan on how to get there, and then the kid lets on that he knows a lot about this place. And Domon kind of hears that and asks, well, how do you know? And he goes like, I just know where I need to go is on the other side of that. And the kid decides to go off, and use some of the information he has to try to help out. You know, get over there. And Domon kind of says, "Who is that kid?" Because he believes. We then see what the kid's plan is. He goes and tells the bandits essentially that Domon's there. Yeah, he basically turns on Domon. So the bandits go, they capture Domon. Domon's outnumbered, and he basically just surrenders. And he sees that the kid's there, and he sees that the kid turned him in. And you get this evil grin, and you're starting to wonder, why did the kid do this? Who is this kid? Is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? Oh, excuse me again. Who is this kid, and why is he doing this? So now we cut to this little building where you see Domon's tied up. You see the kid there. He's getting beat up. They throw some water on his face, and then you see the leader of the bandits. And Domon basically calls him a coward and not a true Gundam fighter, because if he was a true Gundam fighter, he wouldn't need this group of bandits to do his fighting for him. And you see the little kid here freaking out that Domon thinks he's the Gundam fighter and everything, and things aren't all as they seem, as we have seen, because if you haven't been paying attention, you know who this person is, because they haven't been letting on that it's a huge mystery. Basically, Domon's saying, you need to man up and fight me like a Gundam fighter. Do this in a Gundam fight. And he calls him Saisaishi, and the guy's all confused, like, I don't know what you're talking about. They don't build on that, but the guy's confused because he doesn't know what he's talking about. So he decides, if a fight is what you want, a fight is what you'll get. He basically beats up Domon while he's tied up and completely defeats him. And then you get the kid's kind of worried about Domon, and the kid decides to say, hey, I'm just here because I want to join you, and I want to be your cook. I want to be your cook, okay? Let me be your cook. And he's allowed to be their cook, their new gourmet chef. Yeah. And then he's all picking on Domon, saying, yeah. So then the kid cooks for everybody. They're all enjoying it. Domon's locked up in a cell. The kid comes back and gives him some food, saying, hey, I want to apologize for turning you in, ratting you out and all that. Here's some food. And Domon's not responding or anything. Neither would I. I mean, you ratted me out. Why should I talk to you? Well, the kid decides, you know what? To show that I'm a good person, I'm going to unlock your cell. He unlocks it, opens it up, and lets Domon out. Domon gets out because sees that the kid's just still sitting there. And if you haven't figured it out, it's time for another play scene. The kid, giant cartoon smile, starts yelling that Domon's escape. Everybody starts freaking out. Domon is basically escaping. He's going to get his core lander. I forgot to mention this. Saisaishi knows where the core lander is. He tells him where the core lander is. Domon's going to get the core lander. So, I already revealed who... Well, we all know who he is. We all know that the kid's actually Saisaishi. They haven't really been keeping it that good of a mystery. So, Domon's getting out. He beats up a bunch of the people. The bandit leader is getting all angry and decides that he needs to go get the Gundam. So he goes over to where the Gundam is, but the kid's there. And he's confused on why the kid's up there. The kid says, thank you for keeping my Gundam safe and well maintained. And the kid goes into attack. One strikes the bandit leader, knocking him out. And then he says, repeats the article of the Gundam fight match, that basically one of the Gundam pilot's responsibilities is his Gundam. If the Gundam is taken away, he needs to go retrieve it. So we established that that is actually Saisaishi, finally, even though it hasn't been a real mystery. Domon's fighting through everybody, and then you see Dragon Gundam gets activated. Domon hears that Saisaishi's in there, and that in reality the kid's Saisaishi. So Domon and, well, yeah, thank you for having my Gundam, all that, and he's shocked that it's actually Saisaishi, yada 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 yada. So Domon and Saisaishi decide to have a battle. Well, they have a battle, but first Saisaishi explains what happened. Basically, he got separated. Gundam went somewhere else. He went somewhere else, so now he had to go get it. That's basically the premise of what the heck happened. So, fight begins. Shining Gundam versus Dragon Gundam. Activation sequence. Man, this is taking a little while. Give me a moment. And then the Dragon Gundam and Shining Gundam begin. And this is very cool what the Dragon Gundam can do. It can extend its arms. The dragon heads can arc and everything, and they can shoot fire. Domon blocks the fire really easily. Saisaishi ends up using his heads to push Domon back. Then Domon pulls out a sword. Saisaishi then pulls out a staff, and they start fighting in close quarters. And Saisaishi uses the staff to knock Domon's sword out, but also starts showing that the staff can be used to create flags. And this is where we start seeing some of Saisaishi's fighting style, which is very, very unique to Saisaishi himself. He can use the staffs as flags for misdirection, and he can travel very fast. He can use these like energy beams to kind of hide where he really is. So Domon decides to use this like ultra instinct, or whatever you want to say, kind of sense to locate where Saisaishi is. He does a shining finger attack on where he thinks Saisaishi is, and he completely misses. So then Saisaishi's coming down from above, about to land, and Domon uses shining finger again, launches up, if I can get it, grabbing Dragon Gundam right by the head, begins doing the whole "this hand of mine, burning red" line, about to like just end Dragon Gundam, when he gets told to stop by Shuizen and Keyun. Shuizen and Keyun. Shuizen and Keyun. I don't know if I'm saying Shuizen right. I don't actually know if that's even his name. I could be completely wrong. But they basically say, hey, stop, because if you continue, you're also going to lose your head. And Domon's confused. He looks down and notices that the Dragon Gundam has another unique feature. The ponytail, which has a blade on it, which is wrapped around Domon's head. So basically, it's a lose-lose situation. This also plays into how Dragon Gundam fights, even later in the series. It doesn't matter if he wins or if he loses his head, he's going to take you down with him. He's either going to win or it's going to be a draw. So, you know, you realize that it's a lose-lose situation. There is no other way. So Domon concedes, fight ends, and Saisaishi goes off with Shuizen and Keyun. Rain and Domon talk, and Domon says, well, he doesn't know who's on this picture, so it's not this big of a deal. And they basically say how they kind of like the kid. And they hope to meet him again someday. And see that they also hope that maybe he wins. You know, happy little ending. But now he also says, so it's not Neo-China. There's only 2 places left for me to go look to figure out if anybody knows where this person is on this picture. Neo France and Neo Russia. So they decide to go off, and they'll go figure it out, and that's where the episode ends. And I already know this. I don't even continue past it because I'm not a huge fan of the end credit songs. I find them very, very annoying. Kind of too high pitched, girly girl. Kind of sad. But next episode we go to Neo France, where we meet our Neo France's fighter, who's a knight. Not a favorite character of mine. I like his story. He's nowhere near my favorite character. I do find him interesting, though. But that's pretty much that. I'm going to get this all set up real quick, and I'm gonna see if this works. If not, I'm gonna cut it out. And yeah, there we go. Yes. Okay. Did it perfectly fine. I'm gonna keep all that little rambling in. Anyways, thank you for watching the video, guys. Leave a like, share it out with your friends if you enjoyed this video. Check out my Twitch, check out the Twitters, check out the Rumbles. Links are in the description. Other words, things that you need to hear. Bye for now.